What's up, everybody? Greg Osmond, OGGO here, coming at you with a video I promised a long time ago. Finally got around to doing it. So we are headed to Bristol, Tennessee to run the Bristol Dirt Nationals at Bristol Motor Speedway here in a few days at this point. So I wanted to do a quick video. Say quick, I don't know how long it's gonna be. I wanted to do a video kind of showcasing exactly what we had to change on our car to go from DIRTcar UMP rules to IMCA rules. I'm very lucky that in 2011, when we bought this car for the 2012 racing season, we bought an IMCA car, so the frame and cage and everything is legal. You know, pretty much everything from that standpoint is legal for both sanctions. But there were a few changes we had to make to get legal. So that is what this video is today for, to show you all those changes we had to make. Before you get into that, make sure you like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Head on over to Osmond Racing on YouTube here and subscribe to it. That's where most of our in-car videos are going to be this year. And yeah, check out Facebook. We might be able to do some live stuff from Bristol, in-car live stuff. So our Facebook page is the only place you're going to be able to find that. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm sitting here in the car and figured we'd start with one of the smallest things we had to change, which was the tack. So this is our old tack. I shouldn't say old, but this is the tack we run in the DIRTcar stuff, the UMP stuff. It's a digital tack, has a recall on it, obviously. But IMCA does not allow digital tachometers, so we had to swap it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip the lights on inside the car here and show you the one that we replaced it with. And yes, I have a dome light inside my car. So this is the one we replaced it with. It is an analog stepper gauge tack. So you'll see when I turn the ignition on, it goes all the way over back, and then it goes to where our chip is set on our ignition box, which is our next thing we'll cover. But that was one of the smaller things we had to change. The guys at Quick Car helped me get that figured out on how to swap out the gauge panel. It was a little more difficult than I thought it'd be, but overall, not a huge deal. Our voltmeter is not working right now. We got to get that rewired up, but that is the smallest thing we had to change in the car. So I figured I'd start with that. For the next thing, we'll move over to the other side of the car and talk about the ignition box. Okay, so one of the other changes we had to do was we had to add this ignition box in. It's an MSD Digital 6AL ignition box. We don't normally run these over here. Our distributor and ignition sets in our engines over here have the coil built into the distributor. The IMCA does not allow that. So a nice feature of this one, obviously we got the quick connect here, which goes to all of our, goes to the coil, which is underneath, mounted on the dash, or I'm sorry, the firewall there. But underneath this little plastic panel right here is our rev limiter. IMCA has a 7,400 RPM limit, which is what this is currently set to, 7,400. So set that there. Like Ron Popeil, we set it and forget it. Leave that there. Tech can pull that off, or they can actually pull this quick connect off and actually put their tech device in there. And if you noticed, when we turned our tack on, or turned our ignition on, when the gauge swept the second time, that's where it sweeps over to the rev limit. So that is new for us here. It was definitely something we're not used to. I don't foresee that coming over here anytime soon either. I don't know if you can see it, but we do have our coil mounted under there on the firewall. And that was probably one of the bigger changes we had to do. I'll show you the distributor when we get to the engine. Obviously the engine is completely different than anything we run over here. But the next thing I'll take you to is our biggest, probably in terms of quantity, project, and that's swapping our tires over. Okay, so like I said, in terms of quantity, swapping these tires over has got to be our biggest task so far. We're not even done with this yet, but IMCA runs a different compound than we do. It's a different tread pattern too. So it's the Hoosier G60, and just for comparison, here we've got on the left of the screen, you've got the Hoosier G60, and this is one of our UMP tires. It's an M30S. You can see, if you look at them side by side, the G60 is a little bit shorter, but the tread pattern is completely different, and the sidewall is a little shorter as well. So yeah, we're in the process of swapping all of these tires onto our wheels, but we had to take all of these off first. But yeah, that's something we're still in the process of. It's been a little more difficult than we thought, but yeah, that's one of the other changes we had to do. Last thing I'm going to show you guys is the engine that we put in this car. So the biggest financial difference with this car is obviously the engine. So like I said before when I was talking about the ignition, the distributor is a little bit different. So if you swing around over here, you'll be able to see that this looks a little bit different than what we normally run. What we normally run, the distributor cap looks something like this. So this has a coil built into the cap itself. There's no external coil like we would have to run an IMCA. So there's a little bit of a difference there. No ignition box needed with this like we have to run with IMCA. So a little bit of a difference there. The Holley 4412 is a little different as well. Still a 2-barrel performance carburetor, excuse me, but it is a different model number than what we normally run. Other than that, it's a 360 cubic inch engine. That is based on the IMCA engine rules, built by Dynamic Power Racing Technology over in East Moline, Illinois. They actually looked at it after I bought it, made sure everything was up to snuff and it's ready to go. We have our standard 2-speed power glide in it as well, what we normally run. So not a ton of difference other than the cubic inches. There's a compression limit as well, but not a ton of changes we had to make to the car, but changes that just take time. So that is going to do it for us here today. Thank you for watching the video. Let me know what you think. We're going to be making these swaps a few times this year. Like I said, if you head over to osmondracing.net, check out our schedule. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, we'll catch you later.